Welcome back or welcome in, beautiful soul family. Welcome to Celestial Oracle Codes. My name is Samuel, and in today's reading, it is a very special reading. If you can't see it here, I've got my journal out because the guides, my guardians, archangels, angels, the Most High, ultimately, wants me to express a rite of passage that I actually went through here in the threshold coming out of April and into May. Obviously, today is May 1st, and I'm recording this on May 1st, but this happened a couple days ago in the threshold as April became May. But anyway, I don't know who needs to hear this, and this is obviously a special occasion because I don't ever just read circumstances or situations or anything like that fresh out of my journal. And so this is obviously something that somebody who is going to hear this reading needs to hear. And there will be some messages in there. So, as always, if you are in this reading, then there are messages in this reading for you. If you clicked on it, if it came to you, if you saw this video in any way, there are messages in this reading that will be for you. If you don't stay for the whole reading, that's okay. Whatever messages you received are yours to take and go freely. But if you do stay for the entire reading, then all of the positive messages that accumulate here will be all for you. And this entire reading is for you. So let's dive right in because we now have a lot to go over. And first, let me just tell you about the rite of passage. So the rite of passage was where it's a rite of visibility, right? When we come out of hermit mode or we come out of seclusion or just anything where we are kind of um, removed in a way from societal measures or just from interactions and socialism. And so, or socializing. And then we want to, or we need to, at least for our destiny's sake, reincorporate ourselves into society in some way. And so we do the rite of passage for the visibility where we go out, right? And basically you kind of take yourself on a self date. So that was basically what I did. And I was really kind of like looking for signs, or what the guides kept saying was, we're trying to place you in the place where you'll meet the one. That's what they kept saying. So this became a complete living ritual of passage. It's so funny. But the biggest confirmation that I got wasn't really the people, it was more the animals, and just the synchronicities that happen on this trip. So there's something about noticing the signs and synchronicities and making yourself available to new conversations and being open to new ideas as well that's coming through here. So um, it the biggest confirmation was not only the animals, but it was also that I did the thing that I said I struggled with, right? I became visible, I spoke to people, okay? And the world answered back with guidance. And that was the whole theme of the day. So that may be the whole theme of this reading. I'm going to let you know right now. A big, huge message in this reading is that a door is opening up, or something you're doing is opening a door in your life, or there's a chance or new beginning that's happening in your life, and things are about to either shift because of what you're doing or in a way that is fully out of your control and for your highest good. Okay, so that's a powerful message coming through. But the full sequence of that day, right? I began with the intention that I need to make myself or take myself on a date and show love for myself and maybe place myself where I can meet the one. So I'm just going to read it because it's just easier if I just read it right out of the journal. So then the day unfolded like this. I went to Tenzing Momo and I got some heart healing oil and this like luck in abundance rice thing. I don't know. It's some Asian stuff. And then I went to Capitol Hill for visibility practice. I went to Elliott Bay Books for discipline, neutrality, and completing the 20-minute ritual, right? Where we sit in public or in a place where it's plausible that like-minded individuals would be. So that was an antique bookstore for me. And neutral deck and Line Strider. Well, that time, right? I'm sure there's all types of places, but that I chose the bookstore. So the neutral, I got a neutral Turo deck, which is actually one of my favorites now. The guy's actually guided me towards this, and it's a really balanced deck. So we're going to use it today in this reading. But the Line Strider was about choosing discernment instead of projection, right? Not why am I out here, but what is the best tool spiritually that I can use to help the collective in these collective readings. I asked myself that, and this is the deck that they brought me to. And so the Ballard Bookstore was the next place I went to, where I talked to two workers, and they introduced me to the locks, where they sent me to a literal threshold. So the locks is where they lower the water, where ships are coming in from the sound, so that they can go into the bay on the side or in the ports in Seattle. And then also it's where they come through the bay or through the bay, and then they raise the water up to meet the sound, and then they let the ships out. So it's this really cool place where you can watch the water go up and down, and like the ship goes up and down or the boat or whatever, and they come in and out. It's just a really good place. It's like the super threshold place, right? It's a gateway from the sea basically into the port. And so it was just a really cool place that I didn't know existed. I'll definitely be going back. And so I met a man there, right? The man at the locks. That's what the spirit or my spiritual team calls them. And I asked, him a question. I was just like, I got sent here by these two workers at the bookstore, and I just want to know if there's anything, amazing that I need to see before I leave. And so what he said was, I received local wisdom and I was directed deeper into this place. So then he directs me to the birds, the seals, the geese, right? The water gates, the boats, the herons, the salmon ladder, all of it. So the salmon ladder happens in the fall when the salmon are like swimming upstream or whatever, and it's like a salmon run. You can like see them going or downstream or whatever. You can see them. It's just like this salmon ladder where you can literally go under the water and see them. It's one of the coolest things they've got there. But you couldn't see it this time. Anyway, so also he pointed out that there's this this big colony where these huge tall trees, and it's just all these nests of herons, these great blue herons or gray herons or whatever they are, and it's just so majestic. I was just like, wow. But of course they like shut the gate because we just watched these ships come in and out. And so he was like, I'm just gonna go do it next time, and I was like, I'll just do it next time too. So that was kind of how I left it. So the message here, anyway, was when I become visible, guidance arrives through people, places, nature, and timing. There was so much information and just signs and symbols that were coming in. And it was huge, right? The locks is the central symbol here. The locks are the main oracle of that whole day. So, like I wrote here, I watched the gates open. I watched the water level rise. I watched boats move out into the sound, which you don't always get to see everything I saw that day. It was very, very synchronistic. Then the water level lowered. Then a ship entered the bay, right? Who used to see the freaking ship come in you don't get to see that every time. So it was almost impossibly aligned with my life right at that moment. And the locks that we're teaching, passage requires timing, adjustment, and correct levels. It can't be forced. A boat cannot just force its way through. The gate has to open. The chamber has to receive it. The water has to rise or lower. Then movement becomes safe. For you, whoever is in this reading now, something is coming through about not forcing love, about not forcing visibility, about not forcing the next chapter. Let the level adjust naturally for you. Something is adjusting and shifting in your life, and you know it. You know it. And it's kind of freaking your central nervous system out to the point where it's like sometimes things aren't going anywhere, and then you get all nervous and anxious because things aren't moving. and then things start moving fast and you don't know exactly where they're going, and they're adjusting and you don't understand how they're changing and you don't see what's coming. But at the end of the day, it's all happening for you. And I'm being called to remind you that if you look back on the contents of your life, one way or the other, everything has always turned the tables in your favor, and you have come out above and beyond wherever you were before. And that is what's happening this time in an even higher elevated rate, because you've leveled up. You've leveled up, which means the cycles that you were cycling through and going through before, and the changes that were equaling something that it was coming in for you, are now on a higher level for you. So now you're cycling through the same way you used to, but you're cycling into new things that you are not used to. And it is off-putting for your central nervous system, but ultimately it is elevating you to a point where you're going to be more optimistic, positive, and happy and fulfilled for the rest of your life. Okay? So that's the truth. That's what's coming through. You are not blocked. You are being leveled right now, okay? Not leveled out, leveled up. And so the boats leaving into the sound, the boats going out into the sound represented expansion, release, leaving the contained chamber, moving from inner work into the wider world. This mirrored me leaving my, this kind of Tacoma setting and going to Seattle, entering shops, talking to strangers, and walking into new spaces. So I was ready to leave the smaller chamber of hiding, right? That was the message. And not all at once, not recklessly, but yes, I was entering a wider field where there were more people, where there was more chances for signs, symbols, and synchronicities to happen in my life. And so, confirmation received, that is, that was just receiving that symbolism. And then the ship entering the bay, when the water lowered and the ship entered the bay, well, that was the receiving symbol. After expansion comes reception, right? So the ship's going out was the expansion, the ship coming in was the reception. So the double message here was that you are being released into more life, and more life is being allowed into you. So that, I don't know who that's for, but it might be for all of you, right? That can be for one or all of you. And at the end of the day, that is exactly what love requires, what life requires, what finance and wealth require. It's a requirement for the expansion of abundance in your life and your world. And this is how you accelerate abundance holistically in every area of your life, is what I'm hearing. So you can not only send your energy outward, you must also become a harbor that can receive. So the ship entering says, make room, because something larger can enter when the level is right. Okay, so I saw 5 seals there, and the 5 seals are a very powerful sign and symbol. The number 5 often symbolizes change, obviously, movement, freedom, adaptation, and transition. And seals, right, the animal, the seal, the sea creature, actually symbolizes emotional intelligence and playfulness and safe intimacy and fluidity and social bonding and comfort moving between worlds, right? Seals can go on land and they can go in the water. And so 5 seals at the lock says emotional change is present, and it wants to happen through play, softness, and trust, not pressure or force, okay? So this is not a heavy omen. It is joyful medicine that really wants to come through. I see why my guides and guardians wanted me to share this today. I really was very, very nervous about this. I still am, because I obviously don't share anything in my journal. And we always go on these trips and these adventures. I guess I'm handling this little ritual to you, and maybe you can, take this mold and start creating this social network or this social experience or these new experiences with different people and places and aspects and signs and synchronicities, symbology, and just synergy in your life, right? And just add a higher vibration to your world. So that's what we're trying to give you today. I love you all. So the seals are just saying, let love be playful, okay? Let healing be embodied in you, and let intimacy surface naturally, okay? And do not turn every sign into a burden, right? Just allow life to unfold for you because there's a magical, mystical, miraculous element to you and to your world, and it's trying to co create with you now. So, the great heron colonies that the man told me about, those great herons nesting in the trees, is a major deepening. Herons are threshold birds too. They stand between water and land also. They are still patient, precise, watchful, and elegant. But the key part is not just heron. It is herons nesting in colonies, right? That brings the same message as the geese. I was not meant to be spiritually powerful and isolated. I meant to find my living ecosystem. Herons bring patience, sacred timing, stillness before action, precision, graceful independence, community without losing individuality. A heron colony says, you can be sovereign and still belong, okay? You can be mystical and still have community. And you can be unique and still nest near others. That is important for, I know it's important for my love life and my mission. So obviously, the guides and guardians felt like that was important for your love life and all of your missions as well. The salmon ladder, even though we didn't get to see it, lets us know that this is also about timing, right? Because it happens in the fall. And obviously, we were there in the spring. So the salmon ladder in the fall is a future timing symbol. And the salmon represent return, instinct, ancestral path, perseverance, sacred migration, and moving upstream toward a life purpose. The fact that you were told this much about my experience not only shows me how special you truly are to the divine, to the Most High, but also to my guardians and my guides. And I know exactly how powerful they are. And so, I don't know exactly who they're all connected to. But if you're in this reading, know that you have some of the most powerful unseen forces on your side, panning for your success, vying for your satisfaction and fulfillment and emotional bliss in this world and in this life, okay? So, the fact that I was even told about the salmon ladder, but specifically in the fall, says some parts of my destiny were not for that night, right? And that's what I mean with the timing. So understand that even if you do this exercise or even in anything else you do in life, allow things to be at a different time. Don't be upset that it's not happening right now because maybe I'll meet the love of my life in the fall at that salmon ladder thing, right? And I was just upset that that it couldn't happen right now. But who cares? I mean, I really didn't care about the love of my life thing. I really went for signs and symbols, and they were like, "Don't be worried about any of that. Like, this is about visibility." They let me know halfway through it because they knew I wasn't going to go if they called it that in the beginning, and I think that's really funny too. so, so at the end of the day, there's a big, big message coming through about divine right timing and understanding that things are unfolding in the right time for you. Okay, excessively. So you don't have to worry about stagnation because things aren't stagnating. They're shifting around in the background. That is not pause or stagnation. That is readjustment and alignment, okay? And the fact that some parts of my destiny were not for that night, well, that means that they may be seasonal or that I just need to return when the timing ripens. And we all know when that is. Well, that's when the salmon run happens or the salmon ladder. And so that doesn't mean that there's a delay in a negative way ever. And that's a huge message coming through for all this entire collective. Nothing is being delayed from you in negative ways. Okay? They the return when the timing ripens means that this place may be a future checkpoint for me, right? If you meet the love of your life at a place, that's a checkpoint for you. If you go somewhere and get guidance that leads you to a higher understanding or even a deeper implementation of your divine life purpose or destiny, that is a checkpoint for you. But it doesn't have to be anything that profound. It can be anything that leaves you in a better way or makes you have a better day or leaves you feeling more equipped to take life on in a better way. Okay? Any of those things would equal a checkpoint. So it can be a lot of things. All right? So a reminder there for someone. The fall salmon run could symbolize return to purpose, right? We already said that. It could symbolize ancestral completion. So this could just be one of those things that closes a circuit for my family bloodline. It could be relationship maturation. So I could already be in a relationship and we could go back and that could be like a date for us or something, right? It could be a new phase. That could be like a milestone for me in my relationships, bringing someone that I feel like I'm ready to take the next step with to that place. Just like I bring them to the eagle roosting place, right? Like those are places that I go when I feel like someone is the one, right? And so a new phase of movement. So there's only really been one person that's ever been there. That's the truth of that. But a new phase of movement after summer growth, coming back to the source, right? It can be any of those things. So I'll tell you what, I cataloged it like this. The locks may be a place I return to when the season changes, to witness movement, instinct, and destiny in motion. This, I asked someone, he answered, his answer gave me more of the place. That was social magic in its healthiest form. Not manipulation, not trying to impress, not forcing romance, just I spoke, someone responded, a path opened. This is how my real world destiny begins to work. This means my visibility practice succeeded. The lesson is that people are gates too. Some conversations open the next chamber or next chapter, and we need to be remembering that. That the conversations, we don't need to be alienating ourselves from society now, because society is waking up now, and we are a catalyst for that. And that means that we need to be out and with people so that we have a reciprocatory energy and an energy exchange that's happening through the light work and through the higher vibration that's helping to elevate the rest of this entire planet. So that's a powerful message coming through for someone. The animals, let's talk about the animals. The birds and animals as a complete council that I saw, well, on that day, the sequence that formed as a council in the order that I saw them, right, was seagulls, crows, seals, geese, herons, and then I heard about the salmon, right? So let's talk about the symbols. So the seagulls were about speaking, moving, being visible, and staying light. The crows were about discernment, observing, and not over projecting. The seals were about softening, playing, trusting emotional flow. And the geese were about finding flock and tribe, belonging, and grounded community. And the herons were about being patient for the timing and precision, the gracefulness, and the spiritually observant nature. And the salmon was about the return at the right season, following the deeper instinctual path. So that is a complete guidance system just in the wildlife that was present. Then we see a brown bunny that is like divine feminine, earth grounded energy that lets me know it's all, that it's like the rite of passage is now complete. It was so beautiful how this all transpired. So the overall complete guidance system obviously says be visible like the gull, be wise like the crow, be playful like the seal, be long like the goose, wait with grace like the heron, and return to purpose like the salmon. The spiritual meaning of the whole day. This day, that day, was not primarily about meeting the one on that night. Not at all. It was about becoming the version of me who can meet the one without abandoning myself or losing my individualization or my sense of belonging in tribe. So, I practice self-love by taking myself out, heart healing through the oil, right? Abundance opening through the rice, discernment through the neutral deck, social courage through speaking to multiple people, trust by following the bookstore recommendation, embodiment by walking the city, receptivity by letting guidance come through, strangers in nature, and patience by watching the water levels change before the gates open and waiting for the right season to return. And the day's master message is this: love opens like a lock, not by force, confirmation received, but by alignment with timing, visibility, and the correct emotional level. So, what this means for meeting the one, if that's what you're trying to do, or what this means for you in general, all right? This is the most grounded interpretation that I could give myself. And now I'm giving it to you and the world abroad because I love you all so deeply. And the spiritual team says that that's what we need. And that means that your spiritual teams agree. So you are being shown these conditions where aligned love could enter. And not desperation, not hiding, not fantasy, not overreading every person, not reading more into it, finding where that is for you. Asking the person, hey, is there something here that I should see while I'm taking myself on this amazing day that I've designated just for me? As I return myself to visibility, you can say whatever you want, but ultimately allow the world and the universe to guide your way on this rite of passage through your day. So this is not about desperation, not hiding, not fantasy, not overreading every person. And the conditions are: go where life is moving, talk to people, stay neutral and observant, let joy and play return to your life, and find community, return to meaningful places, let timing adjust the waters, because the one is not reached by one dramatic leap, okay? And the one is reached through a series of living gates. And on that night, I entered several. So I cataloged the entry for that day. Let me tell you how I wrote this out. The day the gates opened. That's what I titled this journal entry. And the summary of it, I'll just say, is today I took myself to Seattle for a self-love and visibility day. I began with heart healing luck and abundance tools from Tenzing Momo. I practiced being seen in Capitol Hill and Elliott Bay, chose the Light Strider Tarot as a neutral deck, then spoke to bookstore workers in Ballard who directed me to the locks. At the locks, I saw gulls, crows, geese, 5 seals, and was told about heron colonies and the salmon ladder, plus the brown bunny. I watched the gates open, the water level rise, and fall boats. Oh, rise and fall, excuse me. I watched the gates open, the water level rise and fall, boats leave into the sound, and a ship enter the bay. So this day showed me that my next chapter opens through visibility, timing, emotional adjustment, and real-world interaction. And that goes for all involved and anyone in this message. So, ultimately, I do not need to force love. I need to enter the right chambers and let the level adjust and move when the gate opens. The message here is, I am not blocked, I am being leveled. I do not chase the crossing. I prepare, I become visible, and I pass through when the gate opens. My closing seal before I left was that I honor the gates that opened today. I honored the waters that rose and lowered. I honored the messengers of wind, water, earth, and instinct. I released force. I released timing. I crossed only through gates aligned with love, peace, truth, and mutual recognition. And the next chamber will open when my heart, body, and life are at the right level. That was my whole day. And the Guardians and Guides definitely wanted someone to know and hear. I'm like, whoa, don't throw it away. That was the whole day. Okay. So let's talk about these cards really quick. If you're still in this reading, well, not only is a door opening for you, okay, I'll say it again, but also that's a powerful message for any of the elements of my day that day to come through for you, okay? Whoa, 3 in a row. Did you see them all 3 flip like that? So we're going through some things. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, so like they're flipping and flopping everywhere. All right, so we do have some things that are coming in. You are worried about some things, feeling a bit bound in a situation or tied to something that you can't get out of. That one tried to, but didn't. All right. All right, so I'm going to take 9 for completion. Here we go. So as of right now, you are either at a crossroads or have a choice to make, or it's hard for you to choose between two things. So you don't know if you want to go this way or that way, and something in the past has left you feeling insecure about the way that you're making choices now, or about the way that you're going to approach this situation in the future. You're not feeling comfortable with the way that your thought processes are going. You're just not trusting in your balanced assessment of the truth. You're not trusting in your own mental capacity right now, your logical thinking, your assessment, and the way that you approach problems. And you're also not trusting the way that you're communicating, or you're feeling like someone is keeping a secret from you and not communicating honestly. So this is appearing at a stage in your life where you are either taking on a new project, or there's some kind of new venture, some new travel, or something that you're trying to do in your life, or a place in your life where it's time for your voice to be heard in some way. So this lets me know that you definitely need to start speaking up and speaking your truth completely. Do not mince your truth or mince words for others. Don't bite your tongue in spite of yourself to appease and please others, is the message that's coming through here. So communicate honestly, and expect things to balance out for you. Also, this shows that you have a very strong streak of independence and individuality that you're embodying right now. So if you're considering travel or changing your career or furthering your education, you're being encouraged to take those steps with the goal of creating success in the future and becoming a more self-actualized human being. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, so sometimes the long life plan requires patience and a period of gestation, is what it is letting me know. Interesting, a period of gestation. Okay, so that might be the period of gestation where you're in, where things aren't fully being revealed, or you aren't. This ultimately lets me know that you just need to trust yourself. All right, we don't need to talk about what it is. Who cares what it is? Not who cares. It's important. It's a part of your life. But ultimately, what it's letting me know is you just need to trust yourself. Trust that you can make the right choices. Trust that you're going to make the right decisions. Trust that you're already holding the world in your hand, even if you're looking at something else that is distracting and not as really important in your life as the world you're holding in your hand. Okay, so this speaks to you having yourself in balance in all ways. Your goals and efforts, the time you spend having fun compared to the time you spend working, work-life balance. This is also using your time wisely, and there is an indication with the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles coming out here that a new idea or venture will be very successful for you. Okay, so something that you're planning is definitely going to work out. All right, and that could also be the new door that's opening. So this lets me know that you need to be decisive and trust yourself, right? So this is what this is saying. This is saying pause only for a moment, not for a long time, okay? Check the alignment. Use your discernment and see, check the people, the places, the things. Check the schedule, the calendar. Check this, that. Check all of it. Does something need more time from you? Does something need more refinement in its system, in its structure? You know, what's going to help your foundation the most? And then whatever those choices are, based on whatever's the best for you and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, that's going to be the door that you take. It doesn't matter. Look at it from that point of view and start looking at things from this logical stance. Start trusting in yourself. That's all this is, right? If we would have got this like this, then we would have known that you were seeing through all the illusions and you're trusting yourself and you're taking balanced actions toward the logical next step to reach your goal. So this is just showing me that you're not trusting yourself, and I'm telling you that you just need to trust yourself and you know, make a decision, and then don't second guess or doubt the decision that you make. That's a very important message coming through here. So ultimately, if this found you, something in your life is about to open. This has been a collective reading, and obviously it's a longer one, but it may have felt personal, and for some of you, it's going to feel personal. So just take what aligns here and leave the rest. Because what's coming through here is definitely a doorway here. There's a choice that you're going to make, looking into the light, getting past your guardians and your guides into a doorway here that maybe you're not seeing. What's happening here is a situation that felt limited or like it wasn't moving forward. A delay, a pause, or something that didn't fully work out. And it may have felt like nothing was opening. The truth beneath this is that phase wasn't meant to open. It just wasn't. It was meant to prepare you. You were being aligned, not blocked. You may have felt like you were waiting. You may have felt like you were having to juggle this, that, and everything in between. Like if you dropped the pin, everything fell. Like you were almost holding the cosmos or the world spinning, right? You felt like it was all resting on your shoulders, and if you let one thing fall out of place, then it all fell to pieces. So ultimately, now you may have felt like you were waiting. Like something was about to shift, but it hadn't happened yet. That feeling was accurate. That feeling was accurate. What's changing now is movement begins. The Knight of Swords, you're taking decisive action and you're cutting through any of the BS or obstacles that are standing your way. You will succeed. Energy that was stuck starts to move now. Opportunities that weren't visible start to appear. This is the opening. This is the moment where something becomes available that wasn't before, that leaves you emotionally fulfilled and happy. This opens a new door, and you're ready to walk through it. This isn't just a random opportunity. It's aligned. It fits where you are now, not where you used to be. Yeah. Okay. So this changes how you move now. You're moving towards something new. You're taking the right route or new path. You don't hesitate the same way. You trust your emotions and your feelings to guide you along the way. You don't question it the same way. You recognize it and you step into it fully. This isn't something you force. It's something you meet, something you see logically with the truth, and something you approach with childlike curiosity. You're not waiting anymore. You're stepping forward. You're being called to remain balanced in all that you do and utilize all of the skills that you have. Use all of the skills, all of your natural abilities, your innate traits, capabilities, and anything that you feel like you need to build into. Do not be afraid to build skills upon yourself, to personally develop in any way that is necessary to lead you along your way. Also, I'm hearing RTF tapping. Is that what that is? Okay. So, and any other kind of healing techniques that directly affect the central nervous system and the energy bodies. Okay, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual bodies. Okay, any of them. Also, anything that enhances the physical, refined calm and stress reduction. Okay, so that's what you're being called to now. Just know that this isn't something you force. It's something you meet. This reading offers insight and empowerment, not fixed outcomes or guarantees. If this resonated, it's because something here aligns and there was a message here for you. One way or another, a door is opening up for you, and it would behoove you to trust yourself while you make a choice in a balanced way, and you will be successful. All right? And it will lead to a new beginning in your fulfillment and joy. All right? There you go. I love you all immensely, as always, each and every one. If this resonated, it's because something here aligns, but trust yourself above all else, as always. I send you all my light, my love, my blessings, each and every one of you. My loves, I love you unconditionally, and I will see you all in my next reading.